Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Fun Fold Friday. My name is Erica. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada, on the West Coast. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a really fun fold. It's a diamond fold card, and it's really easy to make. Just follow my instructions. I've got measurements for you, so if you want to get a pen and paper, you can follow along, or if you're a really quick crafter, you can craft along with me. So today I'm going to use this beautiful Encircled with Love stamp set here. These are circular greetings. They're really, really fun, and there is a coordinating punch that goes with it. The punch size is 1 7/8 inches. Just to let you know, this is not a bundle. You have to buy the stamp set and the punch separately, but they go very well together, and punches are always fun for so many other crafting ideas. So that's what we're going to use. And so I'm going to turn my camera down and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to put my camera down. I'm going to switch over to my desktop. Then I'm going to add some lights so we can get rid of some shadows here. And then we'll be on our way. There we go. Okay, so welcome. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the stamp set up close. Encircled with Love. You will find this in our 2025 annual catalog. And it's got lots of different greetings. We're going to use the happy birthday wishes today, but you've got this, you're on my mind and in my heart, with love, a little something for you, thank you, and way to go. So these are really fantastic for creating tags as well on your packaging, which is fun. And you get away from just straight line greetings. You get something a little bit more funky, okay? So that's, excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink here. I seem to have a bit of a frog in my throat. All right, so I've pulled out the designer series paper. This is an online exclusive product suite, and it is called the Botanical Texture Suite Collection. And so there's 2 packs of paper that come with that suite of products. And I'm using the one that are kind of like basket related weaves. And I'm using Early Espresso as my card base. So you need this to be 4 1/4 by 11, which is half a sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock. And I'm going to tell you what the scoring is. Okay. And then I've got a piece of, I thought Very Vanilla would look really good with the Early Espresso. So this is your typical inside card layer. So this measures 4 by 5 1/4 inches. Good morning, Christine. So this measures 4 by 5 1/4 inches for the inside of the card. And then for the left side of the card, which you'll see when we fold the card, you need a piece of designer series paper that is 3 by 4 inches. Okay, and then you need 2 squares. The square you need for the card base is, you want to use the same color square. Once you see the card made up, you can decide whether you want to use the same color as the card base or you want to do a different color. It's up to you. But this is 3 by 3. And then the layering piece is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you're going to layer these 2 pieces together. Okay, and then we're going to do our circular stamp on there. So those are basically all the measurements that you need. Now there is definitely a stepped up version where you've got more DSP inside the card, which I might do another sample again and post it so you can see. But this one I'm going to do is very, very simple. Now I made a little prototype here just to show you how it works. So this is your 4 1/4 by 11. And then you're going to score it in 2 places here. You're going to score it at, hang on, let me get my notes here. You're going to score it at 2 1/4 and then at 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 is your center of your 11-inch paper. And then you're going to fold this back, and then we're going to cut off some bits. Okay. So I'll show you how that works, but that's basically how that fold works. And then these pieces fit on top of this diamond shape here. So that's your diamond shaped card there. So let's make one together so you can see how it all works. I'm going to bring out my trimmer. Okay, and we are going to score this at 2 1/4 and 5 1/2. So 2 1/4. So 2 1/4. Let me just move my punch out of the way so my paper lies more flat. 2 1/4. So not cutting, you're scoring. So 2 1/4, and then you're going to move it over to 5 1/2, which is the center of your card. 5 1/2, and you're going to score that. Okay, that's all you need to do with that. We're going to bring this back in a second to do some cutting. Okay, so you're going to fold your card in half first of all, and I like to sort of like bring my edges together, and then I like to drag my fingers down, and then I get my bone folder out and I give it, it's called burnishing. I'm burnishing that fold so it lies flat. Okay, and then with this other piece here, so here's our fold for the front of the card, you're going to fold that back, and you're going to give that a burnish as well. So it's really almost like a Z fold card. You see how it creates this Z? I think you see it better that way. It's kind of a Z fold card. All right, now what we want to do is we want to cut off on an angle from the fold to the center point here. Now this is 4 1/4 inches wide. 4 1/4 inches wide. So you want to take this and you want to make your pencil mark on the top of the card here. So just flip it around, and then I like to just use I've got a grid sheet here on my desk. So I'm going to, or you can use a ruler. I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to mark this at 2 1/8. So 2 1/8 is your center of 4 1/4. Okay, so then we're going to bring back the trimmer. Now you're going to line up this little center point here. You're going to line this up, and you're going to line that up in the track with the fold. Okay, can you see that? So here is my tick mark that I made with my pencil. So that's lined up right in the track there. And then I have it lined up with that score line. Okay, and then you're going to cut. So you're taking off a triangle. Okay, then you're going to flip it around, not flip it, but just turn it, line up that little tick mark again. See, there's your tick mark right there. Line that up, and then line up the fold in the track. So just take your time. I just do a bit of judging, or zhuzhing as the word goes, and get those two pieces lined up, and then I'm going to cut. Okay, so you've taken off these two triangles, and now you've got your card base all ready to go. So here's the inside of your card, and then this piece flips back. Okay, now you might want to have to trim off just a few little bits here and there. I think I need a new blade. I've been saying that for months. I should just go ahead and do it. Switch blades. Okay. All right, so there's your card base. So this piece is going to go inside like this. Okay. So this 3x4 piece is going to go on the front right here. Now you can really dress this up. You could decide to layer this on another piece of cardstock. So you could have 2 layers on here. So once you've made one and you know what you're doing, then you can go ahead and then dress it up. But I'm making it really simple today. And I'm going to grab my Tombow glue here. So you can decide, these papers are gorgeous. They're all these basket weaves. So sometimes when you decide on one, you may change your mind and flip it over and use another pattern. So, all right, so let's put this on here. With this DSP being 3x4, you definitely have room to add another 1/8 of an inch layer onto that. I like to use my Tombow glue so I can make sure it's lined up really well. All right, so there you go. There's the front of your card and the inside of the card. Now be aware that with this kind of a fold, you are going to see the inside of the card. So you want to, either, you could put a strip of DSP on here if you wanted, or you could do some stamping on here. Yeah, there's any number of things that you can do, but I'm going to keep it really simple. So I might stamp something on there on this side here. And we'll decide on that a little bit later. Okay, so let's pull out our 2 pieces here. Let me just cover my glue. All right, now with this set, it comes with this mini corrugated 3D embossing folder, and I thought I would emboss this 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece. This is definitely geared towards a masculine card. Now, this is going to go on the diamond side, so I'm going to flip this to the diamond side and do the corrugation on here. Okay. There we go. So I'll just throw this into my machine. There we go. Look how cool that is. We've had embossing folders with corrugation before, but this is kind of a mini one. It's not as bulky and wide. All right, so this was 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I'm going to glue this on top of the 3x3 piece like this, and then I'm going to build up my circle on here. Doesn't matter which side, they're both the same. I'm going to put it on like so. Okay, let's set that aside for a second. And now I'm going to stamp. In early espresso, I thought I would do the circle. Now I'm going to pull out a little bit more of Very Vanilla for my stamping. So here's my happy birthday. I'm going to stamp that near the bottom here. Okay, I think my early espresso needs re-inking. Let's just do it one more time. That's a little bit better. I'm going to leave that out to do my stamping for the inside. Okay, let's grab my punch. So again, this is the 1 7/8 inch punch. So this would pair nicely with your 2-inch punch if you have one. So there's the greeting. Now I'm thinking this actually needs a bit of a background on here. Okay, so we do have other circles, so you can either grab another punch, or you can grab the Stylish Shapes dies, or now I think these Deckled Circles dies, I'm not sure, but I think these are retired now. I couldn't see them online the other day, but if you have them, use them, or any other circles. Let's see. That might work, or I could go a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm going to layer this. It might be fun to layer it right on another piece of designer series paper now that I think about it. Let's just grab, I have some scraps ready to go here. This is kind of interesting. So we can do this circle out of this one, or maybe I should go one up. But I think that's too big. Yeah, that's too big. All right, let's do this one. So you could either do it out of the Early Espresso again, or do it out of designer series paper, just to add some other interest. So we'll cut this out and see what it looks like. Okay, and this has got some nice little stitching details on here. Yeah, look at that. I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of embossing folders too, for sure. Now, remember this is going on the diagonal, so maybe we'll do that first. And I might pop this up on dimensionals. Let's glue this flat onto the DSP. All right. So that's going to go on there on the diamond shape. And then that's going to get glued onto this panel. So let's think about the inside of the card. I pulled out from the stamp set that goes with that suite of products. This is it here. It's called Textured Notes. I love this stamp set. I love the leaves here. And it's got some additional sort of like basket weaving punches, stamps. And I love this thank you here. Yeah, so this is, I love this suite of products because it's great for all of your generic cards. All right, so I pulled out this little basket here, and I thought I would just do, I'm going to stamp right across the left-hand side at the top. And then I'm going to stamp just to kind of make a corner. I'll stamp that like that. And while I have that out, I think I'm going to do the same thing on my envelope. So I have some very vanilla envelopes here. So this might be an interesting, let me put these dies out of the way. So I think I'll do the same thing in the bottom left-hand corner of my envelope. So often when I'm doing the inside of my card, I do like to do the envelope at the same time. Okay. So there's the envelope. And this is, so we can now glue this on the inside of the card. So the design is going in the upper left corner. All right, so you don't see that on the outside. Now, you could put some additional, you've got lots of room to write a message. Let's just put this together and see if I might want to put, now, this is getting glued. You see you have a point here and a point here. You're lining this point and this point on there. Okay, so you're just going to line that right up like that. So the easiest way to glue this is just to put some glue right here on this panel. Okay, and then you're making sure you're really lining that up with that bottom. That's why Tombow is really good to use. Okay, that looks pretty good. There you go. There's your diamond fold. And then we'll put this right on here. So I think I'll put some dimensionals on here. Well, let's use up some of these. I like to use every little bit of my sheet. Take the backing off. Okay, and this is going right on here. There you go. So there is your card. So with it closed, I don't think there's enough room for that long piece there. So I think I'm going to leave it alone, just like that. Now, I have some, this set also comes with these neutral matte dots. So what I thought I would do in that bottom corner, I think I'm going to add some early espresso. Let me grab my, I'm going to grab some of these early espresso, and I'm going to put one there, and I'll put one at the top, I think. Just so that, you know, the front of the card, this whole thing looks like the front of the card. You're bringing the inside to the outside, if you know what I mean. So there you go. There's your diamond fold card. What do you think of that? I love that. So like I said, there are some stepped up versions where they've got DSP on the inside here, and they've got DSP on the side here. So you can go to Pinterest and kind of have a look at what other designs you might think of, or use your own noggin and see what you come up with. But there you go. And this stamp set for this particular fun fold, how perfect is this stamp set? You could do just a whole bunch. Thank yous. You could do a little something. You could turn this into a gift card. You could put a little pocket in here for a gift card so that you could use this a little something for you on the front. You can do a sympathy card. You've got this with love anniversary card or birthday card. Yeah, I just love this set. So there you go. Let me just pull my face forward. Thank you, Christine, for popping in. Nice to see you. Oh, let's turn off my blaring lights here. Yeah, really nice to see you. Have a great weekend. And of course, I will be back on Monday for another template. We're getting close to the very end of all of our templates. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.